Page 32, When 64, another Beatles piece. It's got syncopation all over everywhere. So let's talk about it. Common time, 4/4 time. No sharps or flats. We're in the key of C major. Make sure you can do the C major scale and the A minor scale because it also has no sharps and flats. And try and do the arpeggios. The C major and the A minor arpeggio. Good for you. At least the tremolo exercise. That's really what you need. 1 octave, and if you can, 2 octaves. You don't need to do more than that right now. Okay, one hand at a time. So you see the quarter notes in the left hand, so you can see how they're lining up sort of. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Or 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Ugh. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2. Just make that the 16th note a short note. Don't turn it into a triplet. 1. It's not a triplet. Keep it short. 1. And just lift up and come up. Rest. Come up. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Now they say a thumb in here. No, come on. Second finger on the A, so you can do that. I don't know why they'd say a thumb there. That's just wrong, in my opinion. You're in this position now. You can be in this position. That's fine. 1 and 2 and 3 and here. And then going on. 1, 2, 3, 4. So each of those pairs of notes is one beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. It's syncopation. 1. This is the last measure, second line. 1 and 2 and 3 and rest and. And their fingering in the book here is fine. This third line down, second measure. This fourth finger here. I use fourth finger on the C too. Here, but you can use 5. That's fine. And then you do it again. Last line, second measure on page 32. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. Because the notes are tied. If you take out the tie and play all the notes, it's this way. Just like that, but then you just tie them. 1, 2, 3, rest. Now this is fun. If your hand's real big, you can get away with that, but then you got to use little finger again. So if you can use the fingering in the book, this is the last measure, page 32. And then going on, keep going. Lift up. These chords at the top of page 33, second measure. An F sharp, a C, and an E. And then an F natural, a B, and an E. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 3 there. Going on. Again, keep these 16th notes short. Don't turn this into a triplet. Triple. No, it's got to be short. 1 and 2 and 4 and 3, 4. 1, 4 and 1, 5. 1, 4 again. I like that fingering. And now, third line down, second measure. They got 1, 2 here, and you got to hold that E down forever as you do it. Now, you can do it this way here if you want. So it's a 2, 3, and then a 1, 4. If you got really big hands. Otherwise, just use that fingering is fine. Then lift up. Same fingering going down. And then they got 1, 4. I would prefer, if we're going to do this, let's go ahead and do 1, 3. So you can use 4 on the D. And then going. Last line, second measure. Here. Now what I typically do in this fingering, the fingering in the book is fine. I just give you an alternative. This is the last line on page 33, second measure. Going on, it's here. They're saying here and stay here. Cross over. That's fine. I typically, because I'm playing the E twice, I'll play it with second finger. Cross over here. Just different ways of doing it. I just out of habit. I typically would use two different fingers on a repeated note like this. So then that's a G. Last two measures. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then you go back to the beginning. Left hand. Broken chord. I'll start with C. Or third finger, excuse me. Yeah. And you just there. Third measure, same as rhythm as the right hand. 1, 2. Fourth finger. Second finger. I like this fingering, it's good. Rest. This is nice. Last line on page 32. Third measure. 1, 2. The 16th note is right before beat 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 2. Just keep going. Top of page 33. Now, you got little hands, you can do that. You hold the G down, it's tied, and play the C sharp. Yeah, otherwise, it sends you up in here. Otherwise, you need to play this here so you can play the C sharp with second finger. So, on the G, the last measure, page 32, if you need to, use third finger on the A flat. This way you can use fourth finger on the G, top of page 33. Hold that down as you play the C sharp, if you need to. And then rest, rest, and then here. Sometimes it's not real handy, but we have to do it sometimes, so okay, do it. Then going on is just the broken octaves. And then block octaves. Put the hands together. Whoa. See? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. You have to work it out really slow and carefully, and then you gradually speed it up and you start feeling it, and then you don't count it anymore, you just feel it. So now, the third line down, second measure, that is a quarter note. Don't hold it down. And then that's by itself, then you go on. Last line, third measure. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. So that 16th note is just right in front of 2. 1, 2. C is by itself. It's the third measure at the top of page 33. So that's there. And then a one beat rest. And then you go on with this. So just let's look at the second line again. It's just keep the left hand steady. And then go on. That's tricky, but do the best you can. Anyway, that's sort of the piece. I'm going a little fast. You take it really, really slow, and you can hesitate when you take it as slow as you got to do to get this, make sure you got everything going, and then you can go back through and gradually take out the hesitations and gradually speed it up a little bit. Then when you have that, we go back and put in the articulation. You have the slurs, and you got staccatos all over. Nice light wrist staccato. So. lift up between each slur. So to put in the staccatos, they really add to it. It helps it to kind of bounce along, gives it some flavor, a little mood music, huh? And you can add the dynamics, which goes to the top note in the right hand. As best you can. I mean, maybe you just got to play the right hand louder than the left, and leave it at that. So it's whatever you think moderately soft is, keep the left hand soft or very soft. I tend to play that a little louder. We want to hear that. That's the melody. This other is just harmony. Keep it softer. Crescendo up to moderately loud, and then back to moderately soft. Crescendo here, this is the last line on page 32. Second measure, go up to moderately loud. Stay at moderately loud, and you're going to go up to loud here. Loud. So don't get loud until the second measure, top page 33. And then come all the way down to soft. This is softer than you were at the beginning. Left hand's very soft, and left hand now is legato. It's not staccato. Crescendo. I want to hear that note. After all this going on, I want to hear that note. Soft, the P is close to the bottom staff. It doesn't matter because there's a word in the way. It applies to the right hand. The left hand's very soft. Stay. Then at the end of the fourth line down, you start crescendoing up to moderately loud. Here, that's moderately loud. And then you go back to the beginning at soft, moderately soft. Speed is pretty close to what I've been doing. I think it's a fun piece. It's a happy piece. Just yeah, okay. You get into the interpretation a little bit. And these staccatos can have different lengths. They don't all have to be short. So, and again, that's getting into interpretation. This is kind of nice. It's nice. Gives it the mood of the piece. But this, I just don't feel that as a real short. To me, that's a little longer staccato. Just separate it. And that's an accent on that staccato. This is the third line down, second measure. A little extra boom. Okay. And again, this is the last two measures of page 32. That to me is not a short staccato. It's just a lift up. That's a staccato again, but not really a short staccato, just lift up. And then its contrast is very smooth and soft. Now, a little bit about this bit. Because you're going from here to here. Just rock up and down on this real gently. Here to here to here. I'm transferring weight from this finger to out here. Do it in both hands. Go slow if you need to, but whatever speed you're going, don't slow this part down. So however fast you can do this, that's how fast you can take the piece. Now it's like when you pick speed for a piece, you got to find the most trickiest part, the hardest part for you in the piece, and how fast can you play that accurately. Okay, under control, and that's how fast you can take the piece. So don't be playing this part and then slow this down. No, it's all got to be one speed. Anyway, dynamic wise, you can see the dynamics. You get a crescendo on the end of the second line. So you do that, and then at the end of the third line, you're all soft. So the left hand is very soft, huh? You're staying there pretty much till the next end of the next line. You start get louder. So forth. And then once again they screwed it all up and added pedal. We don't need pedal, although it can help in a few spots in connecting some of these things in the right hand we can't connect with our fingers. But I don't want to cover up this. So if I pedal it the way they're showing, this is what it sounds like. Yeah, I think that sounds terrible. I really do. I would not pedal when I have this. I want to hear this, so I wouldn't pedal that. Now it's kind of a bummer because of this arrangement, the way it's done, because you keep repeating this note in the right hand. Because I want to connect this. And it's harder to do when I have to do. I have to lift up on this note, but not that note. And the tendency is lift up on both. Here, I don't want to do that. I want to connect. And that's all up. Now, if you have the control to do that, by all means do it. Otherwise, you're going to have to use the pedal to help connect that. But then you lose the staccato in the left hand. Well, maybe you leave out the note. I mean, it is an arrangement. You can leave it out. Play that by itself. Or tie the note. So a lot of times I just tie the note. That works too. That way I still have the note and I can play it connected. However, when you're first learning it, it's really important to learn it the way it's written first, and then you can go back and rearrange it if you want. So I'm going to go ahead and play it the way it's written. But I'm not going to pedal this. I want to hear this. So I didn't pedal any of that. I don't need the pedal here. Here we can pedal for the contrast. We're getting a little louder and excited here. So this is the last measure, page 32. You can go ahead and start pedaling this. Pedal it with each half note in the left hand. And lift it up there. Yeah, that pedaling is fine in those few measures. And then when you go on, I'd suggest pedaling it every 2 beats here. Because I don't want the overtones to keep building up over time. I want to keep cleaning them out and starting them again. And the second line, third measure, I'm lifting it up. I want to hear the rest in the right hand. I kind of want to pedal it every 2 beats. This is the third line down, second measure. I kind of want to pedal it. I don't want to connect all this. No, so I'm going to pedal it like every 2 beats. And then you can go on. Every 2 beats. But the fourth line down, third measure, I'll lift it up so I can hear a rest in the right hand. And I don't pedal that part. You know, so I'm only pedaling certain parts of it. Mainly, I'm pedaling most of page 33 because it's different than this first part. And that's okay. You can try to experiment. You got to listen very carefully to the sounds you're getting. Speed-wise, it's a happy piece. It's just a happy piece all the way through. There's a little problem in the music. I'm just going to talk about it. It doesn't affect how you play it. It just bothers me. You see at the end of a piece of music, there's a symbol for the end of a piece. It is a thin and thick bar line. That is the symbol. It doesn't necessarily have to be at the very bottom. In this case, you have a DCL fine. So the double bar lines is good because that's just a section break. We got different sections. Because at the top of page 33, at the beginning, in front of the last measure of that line, the first line, there's a double bar line. You're going into a new section. The problem is there's a fine there also. You see it. In my opinion, that should be a thin and thick bar line, not a double bar line, because that's where the piece ends. And that's what I expect to see. So I think that's an error, but that's just my opinion.